What's up, Broncos country? Dude, can you believe this? 16 times in the glorious history of this franchise. 16. And finally, after a decade of suffering that seemed endless, the Denver Broncos are AFC West Champions again. And no, you're not dreaming. This is real, brother. Real as the snow falling at Mile High. Real as the altitude taking your breath away. Real as seeing that orange and navy blue proudly waving on every corner of Denver. The Chiefs? Eliminated from contention, the Chargers melted like they always do in December. And us? We're here, 13-3, division owners, with Sean Payton making what everyone said was impossible. Look easy. Now you're going to find out exactly how the Broncos turned a decade of humiliation into a historic season. What playoff scenarios could still put us as the #1 seed in the entire AFC, and why this story is just beginning. Because, believe me, this isn't just a magical season. This is the beginning of a dynasty. I'm a diehard Broncos fan for decades, and throughout the entire preseason I got roasted in the comments for predicting we'd win the AFC West. They said it was clickbait, that I was desperate for subscribers, that I was crazy, but guess what? We were right. And now everyone who laughed in our faces is eating their words. So relax, grab your beer, and come with me on this emotional journey because there's so much more ahead. And look, there's a detail about the playoffs that could change everything for the Broncos. Something involving a scenario where we don't even need to be the first seed to have home field advantage throughout the entire postseason. That's right. Stick with me until the end because this is going to surprise you. Let's start from the beginning because this story doesn't make sense without context. 10 years, man. 10 years without winning the division. An entire decade watching Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs dominate the AFC West like they own the place. Watching the team we love become a national joke. Remember the 70-20 loss to the Dolphins? I remember. Every second of it. Every sarcastic comment on the internet. Every time someone said, the Broncos are past their prime. Nathaniel Hackett, please don't even remind me. 3 years ago, right on Christmas, that disaster happened. Baker Mayfield, a guy who had literally joined the Buccaneers less than 5 days prior, came to Mile High and humiliated us on Christmas Day. Christmas, man. The most sacred day of the year became a nightmare. Hackett got fired, and it seemed like it would never get better. And then enters Sean Payton, the guy everyone doubted. Oh, he's overrated. Oh, he only won because he had Drew Brees. Oh, the Broncos don't have enough talent. Blah, blah, blah. Payton arrived and said something that made everyone laugh. This is a playoff team. People laughed. They literally laughed at him. And then he doubled down and said, this is a Super Bowl team. And what happened? More laughter, more cynical comments, more people saying he was crazy. But Payton knew something no one else knew. He saw Bo Nix in the draft, saw the kid being ridiculed by the entire NFL, saw ESPN analysts saying he was just a product of the Oregon system, saw the Broncos fans themselves having doubts. And Payton simply said, wait until year 2. And look where we are. Bo Nix, in his second year, is leading the Broncos to first place in the AFC West. A rookie quarterback doing this with one of the biggest dead cap impacts in NFL history. Russell Wilson, our highest paid player, wasn't even on the team, and we still did it, with Pat Surtain being the only first-round pick on our defense until this season. With an offensive line that was constantly questioned, with running backs that nobody really knew. And yet, here we are. 13 wins, 3 losses. AFC West Champions, with 1 week still to go. And the best part? We can still be the #1 seed in the entire AFC. That's right. Home field advantage throughout all the playoffs. Every road to the Super Bowl going through Denver, through Mile High, through the altitude, through the deafening noise of Broncos country. Now let's talk about the numbers because this gets even better when you see the possibilities. The Broncos are guaranteed as at least the 3rd seed in the AFC. That means a home playoff game, at minimum. But there's much more at stake. Here's the golden scenario. If the Broncos beat the Chargers next week, and brother, we will win. And if the Buffalo Bills stumble in one of their last 2 games, and if the Jacksonville Jaguars lose one of the next two, and if the New England Patriots win theirs. But we have the tiebreaker advantage, and we do. Boom. First seed. Bye in the first round of the playoffs. Home field advantage all the way to the AFC Championship. Even if we stay at the third seed, which is the worst realistic scenario now, we still have an incredible chance to control our destiny. Why? Because the AFC North is a complete mess. Steelers, Ravens, Browns, nobody knows who's coming out of there. And if we're the third seed and the wild card teams eliminate the first and second seeds, guess who has home field advantage for the rest of the postseason? Us. And there's more. The fact that we clinched the division 1 week before the end of the regular season is absurd. Like, we don't even technically need to play against the Chargers, and we're already champions. But do you think Sean Payton is going to rest the team? Never. He wants blood. He wants first place. He wants to prove that the Broncos aren't just good, they're dominant. And about the Chargers, man, what a delight to see them collapsing again. Justin Herbert, the supposed future of the position, the guy everyone said was better than Bo Nix, took 26 pressures and 5.5 sacks in the game against the Texans. His offensive line just gave up, like literally handed over the points. And the most accurate kicker in NFL history missed crucial kicks. December arrived, and the Chargers collapsed, as always. It's tradition. It's poetry. Bo Nix has never beaten Justin Herbert in a game. That changes in Week 18. And Sean Payton has never beaten Jim Harbaugh since he became the Chargers head coach. That changes too. You can bet Payton is devising a perfect game plan. He's had an extra week of rest since Christmas, while the Chargers were getting beat by the Texans. And when we play them at Mile High, in those retro orange uniforms that Bo Nix has never lost wearing, man, it's going to be a massacre. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. The Houston Texans. This is the team I don't want to face too early. C.J. Stroud came back, and since then they haven't lost. Their defense is legitimate, brutal, physical. Remember when we played there early in the season? Russell Wilson had 4 chances at the goal line to win the game, and we couldn't do it. That defense held us. So yes, if there's a team I want to avoid until the AFC Championship, it's the Texans. But look, if we get there, we'll be ready. Because this time we have Bo Nix. We have confidence. We have momentum. Now let me tell you something that's going to give you chills. This is not the Broncos' ceiling. It's not. This here is just the beginning. Think about it. We're doing all this in Bo Nix's second year. His second year. He's barely completed 24 games as a pro and has already won the division. He's already breaking franchise records. He's already surpassed Justin Herbert in career accomplishments. And look at the roster around him. Courtland Sutton reached 1,000 yards before Week 18 and is now 4th in Broncos history in career receiving yards. This guy's going to make the Hall of Fame one day, and you're watching it happen in real time. R.J. Harvey, first Broncos running back since who knows when to have rushing or receiving touchdowns in 5 consecutive games. And he's a 6th-round rookie. 6th round, man. Pat Surtain is already recognized as the best cornerback in the NFL. Nick Bonito is destroying tackles and giving QBs nightmares. John Franklin Myers came back from injury, and he's hungry. And we still have Dre Greenlaw coming back in less than 4 weeks, which means he'll be ready for the playoffs. The Broncos' defense has already set the franchise sacks record with 64, and there's still 1 game left. We'll easily hit 70. No other Broncos team in history will come close to that. Now imagine what happens when we have more cap space, when we can sign big names in free agency, when Sean Payton and George Payton keep hitting on the draft like they've been doing. Troy Franklin in his second year, more pieces on offense, more weapons for the defense, more depth on the roster. This isn't one-season luck. This is dynasty building. And you know what's sweetest? Everyone who laughed at us is quiet now. Those comments of, "You just want views," disappeared. The analysts who put us last in the AFC West are now doing mental gymnastics to explain how they got it so wrong. Chiefs fans who thought they'd dominate forever are watching their reign end. And us? We're just here enjoying it because we knew. Since the preseason, some of us knew. We saw the flashes last season. We saw Bo Nix improving week after week. We saw Sean Payton adjusting, teaching, molding, and we said, wait, just wait. And now everyone sees. There's a statistic I love that sums everything up. In recent seasons, the Broncos have a 3-1 record against the Chiefs. 3 wins, 1 loss. Against Patrick Mahomes, against the supposed GOAT of the new generation. And you know why? Because Sean Payton knows how to play against them. He understands the system. He knows where to attack. And the Broncos always show up ready against Kansas City. Payton even said, after the loss to the Bills, that he was excited to play the Chiefs because he wanted to eliminate them from the playoffs last year. The guy is that competitive. He wants to destroy rivals. And now, knowing there's still a chance for the Broncos and Chiefs to meet in the playoffs, man, that game would be epic. But before that, we have the Chargers. And oh, what a delicious moment. Mile High is going to be insane, like deafening noise, altitude hitting hard, crowd vibrating before the game even starts. And Justin Herbert, who's already the most hit QB in the league this season, because of the beating he took from the Texans, will have to face our 64-plus sack defense, with Benito coming off the edge, with Surtain covering his receivers, with Franklin Myers back hungry. Good luck, Herbert. You're going to need it. And when we win, not if, but when, the Broncos will be in an incredible position for the playoffs. Either we'll be the first seed with a bye and total advantage, or we'll be the second or third seed, but with total confidence that we can beat anyone, anywhere, but especially at home. Let me tell you a coincidence that's not a coincidence. The last time the Broncos needed to win the final game of the regular season to secure the first seed in the AFC. Oh, you know what happened? Super Bowl 50 at Levi's Stadium against the Carolina Panthers, and we won. Now Super Bowl 60 is coming in a few weeks, and guess where it is? Levi's Stadium. History repeats itself, man, and the Broncos are in exactly the same position. Win the last game to secure first place and have a clear path. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in destiny. I believe this team was made for this moment. I believe Sean Payton was hired to take us back to glory. And I believe Bo Nix, the kid nobody respected, is going to lift the Lombardi Trophy at the end of this journey. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. One game at a time. First the Chargers, then the playoffs. And then we'll see where this road takes us. But one thing is certain, for the first time in 10 years, the Broncos are AFC West Champions. For the first time in a decade, orange and navy blue wave proudly at the top of the division. And for the first time in a long time, Broncos country can dream again. So get up from that chair, scream, celebrate, call that Chiefs fan friend, and rub it in his face, because we deserve it. After so many years of suffering, jokes, humiliations, we're finally the ones laughing last. And that, my friends, is just the beginning. And look, there's one thing I still haven't told you about the playoffs. A detail about the Broncos' path that could completely change how we see this postseason. There's a specific team we want to avoid, and another we have to face to prove we're legitimate. But that's for next time, because there's still a lot of history to be written. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and tell me in the comments, which team do you not want to face in the playoffs? And which team do you want to destroy to prove the Broncos are real? Share this video with every Broncos fan you know, because this is our season. This is our story. And we, Broncos country, finally have our team back. Go Broncos!